I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. St. Matthew 11:25. Do not trust winter until the very end of it. Do not trust yourself until your last breath. My son, I shall tell you what my father has told me, and what he had heard from his grandfather. Not one of the people you see around yourself will remain alive within 100 years. And of those you do not see, how many of them die each day in hospital wards and prison cells? Beside them, how many humans die on the way, or in backbreaking labors, or in quarrels and litigations against each other? Of a handful that we have in the remainder, how many are happy? And are they able to retain their happiness? And if not, is it happiness indeed? 2. A squirrel is running in a wheel. How great is its desire to reach a pine grove! A worm is gnawing upon an apple, and its only concern is whether its sweet world is endless. A mosquito is buzzing at your ear. How full of agitation and passion is that buzz! Would it that the squirrel run not as fast in its wheel? Would it that the worm hasten not with finishing its apple? Would it that the mosquito make somewhat less noise? Can this advice be helpful to them? And will they be able to grasp what they should do? And what about the human? Will he be able to find his true self in his earthly pursuits? 3. The truth is revealed to all, the honest and the dishonest, but it will never render herself to dishonest hands. The earthly sun shines upon the righteous and the unrighteous, but the spiritual sun will never be radiant in the unrighteous heart. 4. To build barricades against blizzards, to combat the frost with bonfires on the streets, to break ice cover on the rivers, will all that force the times of cold to depart? Only spring will bring them to an end, and those who fought winter in such a way keep saying, "We did a great job." 5. A villager looks grim for the whole day. The neighbors are in panic. They start guessing. Maybe their neighbor is planning mischief. Maybe he has it in his mind to lay hands on a disputed plot of land. Maybe he even decided to sue someone. So the concerned neighbors go and warn their relatives, their friends. One of them even runs to notify the mayor of the village. Everyone is worried and prepares himself for the worst. And in a few days they find out what was wrong with their neighbor. His wife had discovered a hiding place that he used to stash away some money. Had his neighbors not given way to their fantasy, they would not have become the laughing stock for the entire countryside. 6. Childhood desires to endlessly play. Youth desires to endlessly love. Maturity desires to endlessly work. Old age desires to endlessly start from the beginning. 7. The shadow of a tree becomes longer in the morning, becomes shorter at noon, again grows longer in the afternoon, and finally disappears at dusk. The shadow is in motion, while the tree is not. But in spite of that, it is the tree that is living, not the shadow. Conceptions come and go in turn. They are constantly in motion, while man's essence doesn't change. In spite of that, it is man who is living, not his conceptions. 8. Ground is being plowed, furrowed, seed is being sown into it, and ground does not resist. If it were to resist, where would the harvest come from? Wheat is being milled, flour is being kneaded into dough, and dough is being placed into a hot oven. If wheat were to grumble and refuse processing, where would bread come from? 9. In the summer, villagers place scarecrows in their fields and kitchen gardens. Every scarecrow looks different, since they all wear the clothes of their respective owners. And when it gets windy, the scarecrows start to flap their sleeves, to turn, to bow, and even to creak just like their masters. And for the birds, they are real human beings. 10. The town authorities set up a lamppost on the street, right by the sidewalk. Some people were happy that the street was now illuminated and that pedestrians would no longer stumble in the darkness. Others were saying, upset, if the lantern goes out of service, one is sure to run into the lamppost and break one's head. Thus, an ordinary lamppost can bring joy to some and grief to others.